Let me start it off. Shit. Fucking how the fuck shut up?
Top right, Mincy.
Okay, I'm doing it. I got done.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what the anyway. My bad. All right, let's roll.
Matt O'Neill, let's go.
Welcome everybody to Dear Mr. Fantasy, regular season of fantasy winding down. I'm one of your hosts, Ben Mintz, joined as always by Stephen Shea. We're presented by our good friends at Miller Lite. Mr. Shea, a lot of injuries, a lot of stuff to get into today. How are you?
Good. I'm at the Hoboken House. I'm preparing for an exciting day of bets. I love the board today. Christian McCaffrey receiving yards is back. Exciting day. But we want to thank our sponsor, Miller Lite. Great tasting, less filling. Only 96 calories, 3.2 grams carbs per 12 ounces. You can get Miller Lite anywhere. You can get at the grocery store. You can get at some bars let you do takeout, like in Philly where I just was. Grocery store, beer store, anywhere is going to have Miller Lite, the absolute best, reigning champion of light beers. Brewed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Drink responsibly. Again, 96 calories, 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. If you want Miller Lite just delivered to you for game day today, go to MillerLite.com/fantasy. Get delivered right to you. What's better than that? Watch your players cashing in on some Miller times in the end zone this week. There's going to be a lot of them. I'm feeling good about this week. The fantasy players are coming back. We've had some low-scoring weeks the past couple weeks outside of last week's explosion from Jonathan Taylor and Austin Eckler. This week, I'm feeling a little bounce back.
And we want to go ahead and remind everyone, Black Friday sale still going on, 20% off and all Barstool merch. Check out our Bayou Bengals shirts. I got my football shirt today. We appreciate all you guys' support. Cyber Monday tomorrow. Mr. Shea, kind of real quick, anything you want to touch on from Thursday other than the fact that my football team, the New Orleans Saints, are a dead man walking?
I mean, Trevor Siemian, holy cow. I don't recall seeing that. Maybe they haven't been on NBC with him. I haven't seen like that graphic overlay where, he's just like he looked like he was going to have a terrible game. He did. And I'm very upset at Tony Jones. What a horrible NFL running back. 11 carries for 11 yards in the fourth quarter. Come on, man. He finished off the last drive okay. Finished with 27 yards, but just a pathetic performance from a guy who I heard nothing but good things about in camp.
Man, I'm just glad I was in the Superdome on Halloween Sunday because it's gone nowhere but down since then. Bears lines, not a whole lot happened. A big showing by the Raiders, though, beating Dallas in that game. And Zeke Elliott got a little banged up.
Josh Jacobs, yeah. Zeke Elliott talking about maybe resting. Tony Pollard absolutely looks like the better player. But, yeah, it was and that first game was horrendous. Cole Kmet, though, looks like a startable fantasy tight end.
Heck yeah. Well, all right, we can go ahead and roll into today. And I can't wait to see this Bucs Colts game today, Shay, because Indy's been playing great football. We saw them dominate Buffalo, high over under. A lot of fantasy relevance in this football game. And I'm just curious. Obviously, you're starting Jonathan Taylor. He's like number one fantasy running back. But how do you feel about the Bucs D matching up against him?
I feel good. I took actually the Jonathan Taylor under total yards. I feel like it was like 103.5 or something like that. Minty, make sure that you retweet the stream.
You got it.
But yeah, it should be an interesting matchup. Schefter coming out with a story this morning saying that if the Bucs did not take Tristan Wirfs with the 13th overall pick, I think it was 13th or 14th, 13th overall pick, I believe, 2 years ago, they would have taken Jonathan Taylor with that pick, which would be very interesting. Taylor is obviously a stud, 5 touchdowns last week. So it'll be an interesting matchup. The Colts run offense is their strength behind Jonathan Taylor, and the Bucs run D is their strength. So we will see. All right, injuries just coming out. Schefter just tweeted it. Let's go. All right, so in this officially active, Scorderell active, Saquon is active, Damian Harris is active, Ramondre Stevenson, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, and Vita Vea. Let's go. That is huge for the Bucs run D.
Yes.
Those guys officially active, officially inactive. Corey Davis, Kadarius Toney, Kyle Rudolph, Auden Tate, Deion Jones, Justin Reed. Corey Davis, very interesting inactive. So we got Zach Wilson starting at quarterback for the Jets today. I would think that boosts up Elijah Moore a little bit, but Moore is Moore was up here, takes a hit with Zach Wilson coming in, gets boosted up a little bit with Corey Davis being out.
Yeah, I'll tell you who else is out for 3. The A.J. Brown hitting IR. Tennessee.
That's
Tennessee without Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown, man, you're going to have to search long and hard to find weapons for Ryan Tannehill in that offense right now.
And then they're playing the Patriots today. That is not the matchup that you want. It's going to be a tough day for Ryan Tannehill coming off 4 interceptions. But let's take a look at some of these questions, and let's get into it with everyone who's got looking for answers today. All right, let's go. Shout out Jeff Bodner, always reminding people to tell people to like stream. All right, one of our favorite commenters. What happened last night? Best show in the game: Darrell Henderson or Miles Sanders? I'm gonna roll with Miles Sanders here. Really good game last week. I think he had 96 yards on the ground. Darrell Henderson, certainly a nice player, but I think that's going to be a low-scoring game. Rams, Packers, I think both defenses are pretty good. I mean, Henderson's going to get carries. The Packers' D has been really, really good. So I'm going to roll with Sanders in this case.
Okay, this is a rare. I disagree with you. It's very rare, but I would roll with Henderson because Sanders doesn't get anything in the passing game, and they've got a bunch of other vultures. But the Eagles' running offense is red hot. So you know what? I mean, I've definitely heard worse ideas. I was very impressed by how they played last week against New Orleans. Jonathan Davis is saying Cam Newton at Miami or Joe Burrow versus Pittsburgh. I'm going with Joe Burrow. Joe Hayden is going to be out again today. Obviously, they get Minka Fitzpatrick back, which helps, but Pittsburgh's pass defense looked like a nightmare last week against the Chargers. I'm rolling with Burrow.
Like that. All right, we got a super chat from Nick Carter with Mahomes on a bye. Do I go with Cam Newton or Joe Burrow? Even though what Mincy said, I totally like Joe Burrow going against the Steelers with Hayden out. Cam Newton's going to offer that rushing floor. He's playing Miami, who has been a kind of a hot defense, but I still am rolling with Cam Newton just because he's probably going to get you about 50 yards on the ground. And then, he is going to be probably their goal line back. Like Christian McCaffrey is going to get carries and looks around there, but Cam Newton punches it in a lot of times. So I think he's the safer floor here. So I know with Cam.
Okay. Well, I agree to disagree. That's the beauty of fantasy football. All right. He's saying, okay, P. Bart saying Hunter Henry if healthy, Dan Arnold or CJ Azuma at tight end. I know you bag on Henry a lot. And it looks like I haven't seen anything that he's not going to go. I know he's a little
playing officially active.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he's going. Look, I get that he's touchdown or bust, but we've discussed CJ Azuma a lot. Why you don't like him? I'm going with Henry just because they look for him so much in the red zone.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Dan Arnold has been pretty consistent, but on a Jags offense that is not going to score a lot. Henry offers more upside for sure. All right, let's go. Well, I like this question from Quinn McGines. Rashad Bateman or Brandon Ayuk full point PPR? I love Rashad Bateman tonight. I did not see, as of about an hour ago, I did not see his receiving number prop in the Barstool Sportsbook. It could come out later today. It is obviously a night game. Brandon Ayuk has been really hot. Full point PPR. These guys are pretty similar in my book. I'm going to go with Rashad Bateman. Just because Hollywood Brown could be out, and then we'd be looking at number 1 level targets for Bateman, so I would roll with him.
I think that's fair. Bounce back spot here after that Lamar bad Thursday night game in Miami on primetime too. I know that I believe that's going to be the FFF pod parlay tonight as well.
It is. Let me see if that's active right now, but yes, proceed.
Okay. We got Melvin Gordon or Devontae Freeman. Melvin Gordon playing against his old team, the Chargers. I'm actually going to go with him. Also, because the Chargers have one of the worst ranked run defenses in the NFL. They don't have a bad defense. They got a decent pass D, but I think Denver, he's going to try to get in the end zone against his old team. So I'm going to lean him. The Ravens RB core, it's hard to know really who's doing what this year with all the injuries. It's just muddled.
Agreed.
And Lamar steals rushing touchdowns too.
Steals
is the wrong word. It's just he's the man and he takes them.
Sure. All right, let's go with Rob with B's. AJ Dillon, Odell, Bateman, or Jarvis Landry. Start one, full point PPR, hashtag PresPayChe. I think I like Bateman, but AJ Dillon's going to be your guy. Aaron Jones may play. Doesn't matter. Even when Aaron Jones was playing, AJ Dillon is a startable guy. I know PPR, and it's going to favor guys like Jarvis Landry. Odell Beckham, no thank you. Rashad Bateman certainly probably the most worthy competitor, but I still got to roll with A.J. Dillon. I think he's going to be the goal line guy moving forward. Even if Aaron Jones is healthy, he gets so many carries. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. He catches balls too. I like A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I mean, Aaron Jones looks like he's gonna go today, but he's still banged up. We've seen
they got a bye next week. Why?
Yeah, let's also say AJ Dillon's been like 50. I mean, it's been like I mean, even when Aaron Jones is healthy, he's becoming the guy. He was a second-round pick a couple of years ago, so I don't have a real problem with that move at all. All right. Next up, I got Tevin Coleman or Michael Pittman, full PPR. This is the easiest. Wyatt, my man, Wyatt Lucia. Appreciate you supporting the show. This is going to be the easiest question I've gotten all day. Michael Pittman rolling with the huge. Tampa's secondary is weak. And also, I like Pittman over 64 yards today in the Barstool Sportsbook, 64.5 yards as a player prop. I do think Tampa's going to make life a little tougher for Jonathan Taylor, and Wentz could have a good game.
Yeah, I never bet against guys going against the Bucs, but I think Pittman over his receiving yardage total. I think Wentz over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Bucs did look pretty good last week, but obviously not playing a very good opponent. I liked one from Jacob Herring, Cordell Patterson or Eli Mitchell. Only reason it's a question is because Patterson is banged up, half-point PPR. He's had, he missed last week, so he's had a week and a half to really he's had 2 full weeks to get healthy. So I'm going to Cordell. You cannot bench this guy, especially if you're in Yahoo, where you can play him as a wide receiver or running back. So it gives you some position versatility. Even if you're on ESPN, where he's just a running back, I think he's your guy. Eli Mitchell has been solid, but he's not had like big games. He's typically around that like 8 to 11 point range, which is okay. But he's not going to wow you. I think he's a safe floor, but I think Cordell is a pretty safe floor with also a pretty high ceiling.
Well, the thing with Cordell playing the Jags, who are like a C for running backs, and it's half-point PPR, I like Eli Mitchell more than you do. I think the Niners are playing better, but he is banged up as well. He had a really big game a couple weeks ago against the Rams, but I still don't have a problem with it. All right, I got a question from Spice Rack. He says, make Mincy permanent host of Pick Central. Appreciate that kind of support. Me and Walker certainly went at it on Thursday night to more than put it mildly in that Egg Bowl. He's still, I think, going to be licking his wounds for a while after that one. Shay, I'm asking for your help on this question because this one's tough. It's Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, or Devontae Smith, full point PPR. I like all 3 of them. And so I think this is a debate. Smith at the Giants, Hollywood Brown at home against Cleveland, Elijah Moore at Houston. The thing with Elijah Moore, the quarterback musical chairs is tough. I actually think Zach Wilson starting hurts him because Wilson was struggling early in the year. I think I'm going to go with Hollywood Brown on primetime here is where I'm leaning. But Devontae Smith is getting a lot of targets too. So that's why I'm asking your opinion as well.
So I don't think you can go Hollywood Brown here just because he's playing at night and he's questionable. So if he's out, you're totally, shit out of luck. So Elijah Moore, you're right. I think takes a hit with Zach Wilson. Corey Davis being out certainly boosts him up a little bit, but not close to the level where he was at with, either Joe Flacco or Mike White, where he was, been kind of tearing it up. I still do like his over receiving prop, which is at 53 or 54.5. But I like Devontae Smith here for PPR. He's going to be the go-to guy. Divisional game against the Giants. I think Devontae Smith is the pick here. Just because he's safer. If we knew Hollywood Brown was for sure.
Yeah, it's full point PPR too. And the thing is, it's hard to bench you. I mean, hotty toddy, how do you bench Elijah Moore? But it's just, Devontae Smith's getting so many targets, and the quarterback thing is. I do love Elijah Moore the rest of the way, though. I think he's really emerging.
Okay. All right, Jason Schaefer. Che, your Bucs DST with Vita back or Jags Falcons off waivers? Jags Falcons could go a number of ways. If I had to pick between the two, I'd go with the Falcons. But I think the Bucs defense going against Carson Wentz, who is a turnover-prone guy, they could let up some points for sure. But I would play the Bucs defense just because they probably have the best chance of getting turnovers of this group, even more so than the Falcons going against the Jags. So I like the Bucs defense special teams unit.
Yeah. The Bucs have over-unders high in that one, 52. I just can't wait to watch that game, Shay. I know how you feel. I'm big on Indy. I think they're not. I don't think they're a joke. I know they started 1-4, but man, they're playing some super good football. And Tampa's
6-1 to win the division right now.
Yeah, and the other thing, Tampa has been a little like Tampa's been so dominant at home, but they've been a little flaky on the road so far.
Yes, they have not been good on the road, but they were peppered with questions about that in the press conferences this week. I'm sure that is a big focal point for them. Getting Vita Vea back is huge. The Colts are going to have to pass the ball.
All right, let's see. Next up, flex full PPR. J.D. McKissick Monday night against Seattle or Van Jefferson at Green Bay. Don't necessarily love either, but in full point PPR, I actually think I'm going to say McKissick here because I don't like Shay said, Green Bay's defense, even though Green Bay did get lit up by Minnesota last week, they've been playing really good football the whole rest of the year. And Van Jefferson, I mean, it's muddled. You got Cooper Kupp, you got Odell Beckham. The thing with McKissick, he only has value in full point PPR, but he's got value in that. And the Seattle football team over under is kind of high. So I think I go with him.
I like that. We got a super chat from Tony, half point PPR flex, Kareem Hunt, David Johnson, or Rex Burkhead. Oof. That is a tough one. Rex Burkhead, never a fantasy starter in his entire career, in my mind. David Johnson, I don't like that one. Kareem Hunt was a top 10 fantasy running back when healthy. He should be back today. So I think as far as floor and also upside, he's going to be the belle of the ball here. So I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I'm going with Kareem Hunt here definitively because I can't stand the other guys. Adam Held says Leonard Fournette at Indy or Cordarrelle Patterson against Jacksonville. Although I do know that the Bucs have used Fournette in the passing game, Indy has a stout run defense, and so I'm going with Patterson here.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Fournette's going to kind of up and down. And Ronald Jones actually came on last week. So look for him to get a few more carries this week.
That's fine.
Here we go. From Ross F, full point PPR. Need 2, 1 tight end, and 1 flex. George Kittle, Kyle Pitts, Kareem Hunt. This is an interesting one. So I think you got to start Kittle. He's been hot. His problem going into this year was touchdowns. He had 14 touchdowns in 3 years, but he's had 2 in the past 2 weeks. So if he can get in the end zone more, and I do think San Francisco, Minnesota could be sneaky, a high scoring, fun game. Mm-hmm. So I think Kittle's going to be my start at tight end. As far as flex, now it's between Pitts and Hunt. Full point PPR. I think I got to go Pitts just because we don't know what Hunt's going to look like. He's been out for several weeks as far as, his share of the carries. Nick Chubb obviously is a dude and will get a majority of them. Hunt and Ernest Johnson have been in there to kind of spell him. So I think that it will be a steady carry load. But in full point PPR, I think Pitts is going to offer a little bit more upside, and I'm looking for him to have a big bounce back week this week.
I like Pitts. He's also a Florida Gator playing back in Jacksonville. Yep. It's a good matchup there, and so I definitively like Pitts there. Yep. That's what I'm thinking on that one. Best show in the not nice Spice Rack. Appreciate all the love. Hilliard or Javonte Williams, full PPR. Love the show, fellas. I still like Javonte Williams. I know Shay, he was your guy before the year. I just believe in him. And also, there was a Melvin Gordon question earlier. I think Denver at home against the Chargers got to pound the football to win this game, man. Chargers run defense ranking is really, really bad. And so I'm going to go with Javonte Williams here. What do you think?
Yep. Yeah, I like Pookie Williams a lot here. Thanks for the chat. Motive. Fire Che. Come on, George.
No, he didn't need Fire Che. He didn't say Shay. If he's too lazy to spell your whole name,
yeah, that's not me.
Yeah.
The dictator. Yeah. Fire that guy. All right, Claypool or from Cougs 12. Claypool or Landry PPR. Chase Claypool. Landry is going to be, he's okay. He's going to get some catches. PPR, he will have like some value there. Don't look for big yards. He did get in the end zone last week. Coming out of he's ran it in the quarterback formation. That was supposed to be a pass. Chase Claypool though, just better overall player, better fantasy player. So roll with Claypool. He's got much higher upside. Chase Claypool, either one.
All right. Next up, we've got the A.J. Dillon or Eli Mitchell half-point PPR. This is another one I think we're going to disagree on. I actually go with Eli Mitchell at home against the Vikings. I think they're going to try to pound the football in this game. But keep an eye. Both these games are later, I believe.
Yep.
And because of that, if something happens there in Jones and they decide to not play him, but to be in a bye, you go with A.J. Dillon immediately. So that's kind of one of those pending the Aaron Jones thing.
I like this question from Cole Robertson. Start Kirk Cousins or Joe Burrow? I think they're both pretty good options. Kirk Cousins, I believe he's like right on the cusp of a top 10 fantasy guy. Joe Burrow has been a little bit up and down. He had a great start to the year and then kind of fell off. I hope we didn't lose Mincy. His computer may have died. If so, he's going to rejoin us momentarily. I'm going to roll with Kirk Cousins here. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a huge game. I believe he was fantasy quarterback 1 last week. Or no, not 1, because I think Cam was 1. Or he was a top 5 fantasy quarterback last week for sure. So Kirk Cousins would be my guy here. He might actually have been QB6 because I think Aaron Rodgers did better than him. All right, from Trevor Ramsey, right above Baker. Mincy's computer died. Baker, Tannehill, Lawrence, pick 2. Oof, these are some tough options because I think Tannehill of this group would be a layup, but he's without Derrick Henry. And he's without A.J. Brown, who's recently, as of last night, on IR. So he's going to miss 3 weeks at least. 4 interceptions last week. He just doesn't have a lot around him. And New England's just going to make him do what he's not good at doing. So I think you honestly have to go Trevor Lawrence and Baker Mayfield here and bench Tannehill, even though he's the best player. Again, it's always about matchups. So I'm going to roll with benching Tannehill, starting Baker and Lawrence. All right, from Michael Novella, which Patriots do I start? Jacoby Myers, Damian Harris, or just fell, or Ramondre Stevenson, full point PPR. So Stevenson is going to play. Jacoby Myers, honestly, for me, is never a start. Damian Harris is the best of the bunch. So I think of that group, he's the safest. He's going to get the goal line carry. Stevenson has certainly come on as of late, but Harris is going to be my guy there. Just me, most handsome the stream's ever been. Don't forget to like the stream. Shout out Drew Evans. From Christopher Gable, Fournette or Miles Sanders. So Fournette going against Indy, Miles Sanders going against the Giants. Jordan Howard's going to be out, so I think actually Miles Sanders is going to be your better play here. He just came off injury, but he had a couple issues with fumbles, so that you got to be a little bit worried about. But I think he just has a little bit more higher upside going against the Giants. Fournette has to be a little bit worried about Rojo, and then he just has so many other options in the passing game. I think Gronk has a very big day today, so I'm gonna go with Miles Sanders in that group. All right, from Big Poppy 349, OBJ, Van Jefferson, or Crowder, half point PPR. So I'm going to immediately eliminate Crowder. Playing with Zach Wilson. I know he got in the end zone the other week. I think it was last week, but he's not a playable guy with Zach Wilson as a starter. OBJ, absolutely no thank you. He could have a couple plays, but he still doesn't know the full playbook yet. So he's not going to be on the field that much. So Van Jefferson's going to be a guy of this group. We got a super chat from someone named Horizon Fios. Half point PPR, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 flex. Okay, so we're getting full control of this entire lineup. So Nick Chubb, Damian Harris, Devontae Freeman, Ramondre Stevenson. Which 2 or 3 should I start? Also, Van Jefferson versus Donovan Peoples-Jones. So I'm going to go with Van Jefferson there. So we're going to get back-to-back Van Jefferson answers. Now, start which 2 or 3 should I start? So Nick Chubb, obviously, every week, always start Nick Chubb. And then of this group, it's tough with the Ravens backfield. Like, I would kind of stay away from Devontae Freeman. He has had some good games, so I certainly could be proven wrong there. But I'm going to go with Damian Harris and Nick Chubb of this group. I think they're going to pound the football against the Titans. I expect to be a pretty low-scoring game, but I'm going to go with Chubb and Damian Harris, and then Van Jefferson versus Peoples-Jones. Okay, from Ransom Diorazio. DJ Moore or Mike Williams? DJ Moore is going to have some success with Cam Newton being a quick outlet guy, but I think Mike Williams is going to be hard to bench. He has had games where he's been, in the 20-yard area, but it looks like he's back from that knee injury. Had a huge touchdown last week, so I'm going to go Mike Williams, way bigger upside there. I'm going to go with Mike Williams versus DJ Moore. We got a super flex from Darren Hobbs. Need a flex. Full PPR, Miles Sanders, Chase Claypool, or Jalen Waddle. Looks like Mincy is joining us.
How you hear me, guys?
Yeah, can you turn the phone sideways?
I can.
All right, need a flexible point PPR, Miles Sanders, Chase Claypool, or Jalen Waddle. So the PPR limits Sanders a little bit. He's going to give you that rushing floor, though. Chase Claypool or Jalen Waddle. I'm going to actually roll with I think you got to go Jalen Waddle here. Yeah, it is a tough one. It's really a coin flip between Claypool and Waddle. But when you look at Waddle going against Carolina, they're not going to be able to run. Carolina has a very good run defense, so they're going to look to distribute it quickly. Jalen Waddle, surprising for a guy that's deep speed, a la Tyreek Hill, Henry Ruggs, those type of guys. He's going to be a guy that can do that, but he also catches short balls. They manufacture touches for him. So he's more of a high volume receiver in addition to a stretch the field guy. So I like Jalen Waddle in this question, Darren.
That's fair. I'm back. I've got from Shoy7 says Kareem Hunt or DJ Moore. I agree with what Shay's saying. I do think Kareem Hunt could have value down the stretch, but I got to go with DJ Moore. Cam's not the best passer, but he looked better than Sam Darnold last week, and DJ Moore caught a touchdown. So I'm going to roll with him. My thing with Kareem Hunt is I just need to see what he looks like coming back first.
Okay, from Ryan Scanes, Dallas Goedert or Noah Fant coming off the bye. Dallas Goedert just got paid. Fant's been good, so I'm gonna roll with Fant against the Chargers here. Both divisional matchups, both are kind of low tight end ones, high tight end twos. Fant is a little bit better for me, so I'm gonna go with him going against the Chargers.
That is very fair. All right, Thomas Harrison says pick 2, Hollywood Brown, Adam Thielen. Where'd that question go? It was Hollywood Brown, Adam Thielen, DJ Moore, Michael Pittman. I'm taking Michael Pittman for sure, and I'm going to go with Adam Thielen. I was worried about Hollywood Brown being questionable, and then while I just picked DJ Moore, I'm worried Carolina, Miami may not be very high scoring. So I'm going to go with Thielen. I think what Shay said about Vikings Niners is true. It could be higher scoring. I love Michael Pittman this week.
Yep. Yeah, same. Jacob G, Elijah Moore or Kendrick Bourne, full point PPR. Even though Zach Wilson is starting, I'm going to go with Elijah Moore. I just think he offers way more upside. Bourne's an okay player. Like he can, he's thrown some passes, but he's not like a guy you're going to look for to get 100 yards. Elijah Moore has been hot. Let's see if he can ride out this quarterback change. Again, Corey Davis being out, I think helps him. So Elijah Moore is going to be my guy.
I back it up. I wouldn't be here without Elijah Moore. He seems like he really is emerging on the fast track in Houston today, too. He's just a game breaker. So I have no problem with that. Ryan Scanes says, Mintz, can you do a Chris Farley impression? I mean, I can. I don't know if Dear Mr. Fantasy is the time and place for it. So I am 35 years old. I am divorced. And I live in a van down by the river. Okay, moving on. Let's do some fantasy. Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Hurts this week. I know this is tough because from Alex Bromley, I don't see how you can bench Hurts right now. I know that's just insane to say. But, I mean, the way he's running the ball and how hot this Eagles offense is, they found a groove. And I agree with what you said. I mean, I think Rodgers – Rams-Packers might not be the big shootout in Lambeau. So I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. Gosh, and this just trolls my brain having to say this.
I think this is Jalen Hurts, and it's Jalen Hurts by a mile.
Yeah.
It's not conventionally the best football player of this group, but for fantasy, I mean, he's going to offer I love Jalen Hurts' rushing prop today. It's over under 51.5. He's averaging, I think, like 63 and change his past 5 games. Since they've kind of adopted this more run-first offense, he has been like 60-plus almost every game. All right, let's go with we have a super chat from Brett. Heineke or Tannehill? I think this one's easy. Taylor Heineke, actually like his touchdown passing prop tomorrow over 1.5 passing touchdowns against a Seahawks D that is not very good. Taylor Heineke is going to be a guy in a landslide with everything going on with Ryan Tannehill as far as A.J. Brown being out, Derrick Henry being out, they're playing the Patriots. No, thank you. Taylor Heineke for me.
I know Tennessee's up so much, but man, without Henry and A.J. Brown, it's going to be hard for them to win these next few weeks. I mean, they literally, I know and Julio hadn't given them anything. I mean, they are really out of weapons. It's kind of tough.
Yes.
I got a flex question from Katie Sowick. Stevenson, who's looked good for New England, but splitting time with Damian Harris or Rashad Bateman. I think I'm going to lean Bateman here. Like you said, Shay, you said Hollywood Brown be questionable. He seems to be coming on. Stevenson looks good when he gets the football.
He does.
It's just hard to rely on these dang New England running backs, man.
Yeah. Not my ideal.
Do you disagree on this?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Jackson Hydorn, Damian Harris or Rashad Bateman, half-point PPR. The half-point PPR certainly sways things a little bit in the favor of Bateman. I'm going to go Damian Harris, though. I just think he's a safer play. Bateman could, again, get number one looks if Hollywood Brown is out. We're not going to know that till much later tonight. I think Damian Harris is going to be the safer play here. He's just going to give you that rushing floor. He's their goal line back. So I'm going to roll with Damian Harris.
Okay. I don't see that being too unfair. I feel like Harris I trust him more than Stevenson when he's healthy, even though Stevenson has looked very, very good. All right, we've got next pick 2, half-point PPR from Chris Armstrong, A.J. Dillon, Cordarrelle Patterson, Myles Gaskin, and Miles Sanders. Okay, let's do some. I'm knocking Myles Gaskin off because I just don't trust him in this Miami offense against Carolina. So that leaves us A.J. Dillon, Cordarrelle Patterson, and Miles Sanders. I like all three of these guys today. Half-point PPR against Jacksonville. I can't bench Cordarrelle Patterson. So let's go with him. And it comes down to A.J. Dillon or Miles Sanders. God, this one, I almost want to flip a coin on this one. It's so close because I like both of these guys. I guess I'm going to go with A.J. Dillon because half-point PPR. Shay, I know you're big on Miles Sanders today, though.
Yeah, against the Giants, I think that's a really good match. The Eagles have firmly committed to running the football, and he is going to be the lead guy. So I think Sanders is a pretty safe
okay. You want to say I don't have a problem going with Patterson and Sanders here. It's so close between Sanders and Dillon.
I like Sanders, but I like Dillon more. So
okay.
I like your original answer.
Okay, check it. Stick it to first instincts.
From Dylan Holly, super chat. Start 2 1-point PPR, so full point. Odell, no thanks. You can anybody watching any Odell questions, the answer is going to be not Odell. Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, Damian Harris, Elijah Moore, Kenny Galladay. So Kadarius Toney's out, but I'm still going to throw Kenny Galladay out. He just has not clicked with Daniel Jones so far. So starting 2 between Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, Damian Harris, Elijah Moore. Of that group, if we're talking full point PPR, I'm going to eliminate Damian Harris just because he's not going to catch a lot of passes. So Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, or Elijah Moore. I think your safest route is going to be Miles Sanders and Devontae Smith. So 2 Eagles. Elijah Moore, I think, could offer the biggest upside, but with Zach Wilson at quarterback, I think he's going to hit his over receiving yards, but I'm not going to let my fantasy matchup success rest in the right arm of Zach Wilson. So I'm going to roll with Miles Sanders and Devontae Smith here, even though it's full point PPR. I think Sanders is going to be your safest floor here. So I'm going to roll with Sanders and Smith.
Nathan Long says Tua against a tough Carolina defense or struggling Russell Wilson against a bad Washington football team defense. Look, I'm going with Russell Wilson here. I don't like the matchup of Tua against Carolina at all. I know Wilson has been struggling, but the football team defense has been a big disappointment this year as well, and Chase Young's out for the year. So I'm just hoping for Russell Wilson on Monday night here.
He needs to get ready. He's put up 2 stinkers in a row, like single-digit fantasy performances. So hopefully he can bounce back and get right.
If Tua had a better matchup, I would consider it, but I just don't like Tua against Carolina.
Yeah. Michael King, half-point PPR, pick 2. Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders, Brandon Ayuk. Half-point PPR, pick 2. All right, so I do like Jalen Waddle today for the reason that Carolina does have a very good run defense. They're going to need to throw the football. So I'm going to go Waddle is probably my first in this group. And then honestly, I'm going to go with Devontae Smith. So I'm going to say those 2.5-point PPR. Sanders doesn't catch a lot of balls. He does offer a very safe rushing floor. Around the goal line, though, can he punch it in? We saw Jalen Hurts take not one, not two, but 3 rushing touchdowns last week. Brandon Ayuk had a good game last week, but he's been kind of up and down with Elijah Mitchell back. Deebo Samuel's going to get fewer carries, you'd think. So I would look for Deebo to be a little bit more featured in the passing game, and Brandon Ayuk maybe take a little bit of a step back. So I'm going to like Jalen Waddle here and Devontae Smith.
Phil Engel, who's in my $500 fantasy league that we've been
Uh-oh.
years, and his wife, you know his wife, Shay. His wife's
let's go.
TB.
Yes.
Wife, his lovely wife, Courtney, works for TB12, who we both know. He's asking DJ Moore, Elijah Moore, Devontae Freeman at flex, half-point PPR. I'm going Elijah Moore here for sure all day.
Are you playing him today?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
It would be very funny if you just gave some advice for your own demise, which is actually a very tough thing. Hosting a fantasy podcast and like putting it out before waivers come out. I've had several guys robbed, but I can do nothing but thank my friends for listening to the podcast.
That means they're supporting you. Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
It is funny. It's a brutal catch-22.
Yeah. All right, this one from Icy. Damian Harris, Mike Gesicki, or A.J. Dillon in the flex. Full point PPR. Love the show, boys. Appreciate that, Icy. We're picking one. I'm going A.J. Dillon. Even though it's full point PPR, Mike Gesicki has certainly been a good target, though he did put up a donut a couple weeks ago. Damian Harris, again, not going to catch passes. A.J. Dillon catches passes. He runs the ball. He's in around the goal line. Plays for the best offense in this group. I'm going to go with A.J. Dillon.
Brad L. says Taylor Heineke, Tyrod Taylor, or Ryan Tannehill. Definitely not Tannehill in New England. I know Taylor gets some sneaky rush yards, and he could have a good game against the Jets, but I'm rolling with Heineke. He's hot right now. They're at home against Seattle, who does not have a good defense on Monday night. So I would say Heineke 1, Taylor 2, Tannehill 3 on my rankings.
I like this question from Kevin. Need flex help? Scantling, so Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Van Jefferson, or Kareem Hunt? This is really tough because Scantling was not having a good game. Then he put up a monster catch and run touchdown last week. I think he's going to offer probably the highest upside of this group just because he does have that potential with Aaron Rodgers. He needs to step up, though, on like a permanent basis for him to be counted on. So I'm not going to be able to roll with him here. Van Jefferson or Kareem Hunt. Van Jefferson, I think, is a nice player. He's like kind of a 45 to 75 yard guy. Can catch a touchdown every 4 weeks. I'm gonna roll with Kareem Hunt here. I mean, when healthy, he was a top 5, or I think maybe a top 6 fantasy running back when he was healthy. Again, first game back, so we need to temper expectations a little bit. But it's Baltimore; they're gonna run the ball a lot. I like Kareem Hunt in this matchup.
Fantasy Sports says Jacoby Myers versus Tennessee or Myles Gaskin versus Carolina at flex. I don't love either, but I'm going to go with Myles Gaskin. Shay kind of alluded to it. Whether it's Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, Henry, the backs, it's just hard to trust who's going to get the ball. New England's not, they're definitely winning, but they're not like a fantasy gold mine right now on offense or anything.
Yeah. All right, let's take our final 4. So let's go with Jason Smith. I like this question. So Marquise Brown, questionable, or Brandon Cooks. This is tough because, I think it depends on what your alternative options are. Are there any guy on waivers? Can you pick up somebody? Like is Freddie Swain available from Seattle as a potential, safety valve for Monday Night Football? Or is a Rashad Bateman available or something where it's probably not? I'm going to go Brandon Cooks. You know what? Brandon Cooks has been a pretty solid receiver when given the opportunity. Tyrod Taylor starting today. They're playing the Jets. Let's go with Brandon Cooks here.
Theory I want to ask. The question dials into this. It's a question about starting. Let's see where it was Kenny. It's a Kenny Galladay question. Here it is. Justin Bird. Who should I start between these 3? Jerry Jeudy, Kenny Galladay, Dante Foreman. Shay, I have a theory that the Giants' offense is about to do a lot better now that Jason Garrett is no longer calling plays. They go from Jason Garrett to Freddie Kitchens, who was overmatched as a head coach in Cleveland, but did a really good job as offensive coordinator for Baker Mayfield his rookie year. So good that they gave him the head coaching job. I'm looking for the Giants offense to improve drastically, getting the dead weight of Jason Garrett out, and I'm going with Kenny Galladay. Do you think that this is do you buy into the theory that the Giants offense could improve with a different play caller?
It's hard to be any worse, honestly. I mean, watching them on Monday was just, I mean, they couldn't do anything. Did you see the Orlovsky breakdown where it was just 3 receivers exactly in the same spot? It's just,
I see why Cowboys fans are very frustrated having to deal with that for 11 years?
Yeah, it's a tough scene. All right, final 2. Rennie, tough bye week for me. David Johnson or Ty Johnson in the Houston versus New York Jets matchup. I think Ty Johnson is probably going to be the best play here. Michael Carter is on IR, so Ty Johnson should get some looks, so should get some catches. He was playing third downs before, so I'm going to roll with Ty Johnson here. Obviously, not ideal situation, but plug and play for 1 week. You could do worse.
Man, this is my final one is a tough choice because I like both of them. It's Chase Claypool or Pittman Jr. from Bill. I love Pittman Jr. today, so I'm going with him. But I do like Claypool against Cincinnati too. But I love Michael Pittman Jr. Also am on his over 64.5 yards prop in the Barstool Sportsbook. That's one of the ones I'm going to be taking today. Before we get out of here, Mr. Shea, a couple things to push. 20% off all merch Black Friday sale through Cyber Monday. We've got football shirts, Sunday football shirts. We got the Bayou Bengals shirts out now as well. We appreciate all your support. And you've got the the FF Pod Sunday Night Parlay is
coming out later tonight. Yes, so it'll be Lamar Jackson over rushing yards, over passing yards, and over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I take this bet every week. It's going to have boosted odds. I dabble with the passing touchdowns, but I like the passing touchdowns tonight. I call it the Lamar lay. Tonight it'll be available. It's not out yet, but it'll be the FFF parlay for this evening, and I love it. It was at I believe it was plus 475 when I looked yesterday, so hopefully that gets boosted to in the mid 5s or even 6.
Shay, what's funny is there's a Logan Paul Cleveland Browns parlay tonight as well. I mean, who are you going to back when it comes to trusting the data? Stephen Shea or Logan Paul? Let's be real here. Facts. Also, want to thank Miller Lite. They've been our title sponsor in the Fantasy Football Pod all season long. We really appreciate their support. Hopefully your fantasy guys get a lot of Miller times in the end zone. Great tasting, less filling, only 96 calories and 3.2 carbs. Hard to beat that on an NFL Sunday with your friends. Mr. Shea, do you have anything else you want to add?
I'm just going to plug my favorite parlay of the day games that I have out today. Okay. It's at plus 1048. Gronk over 44.5 receiving yards. Jalen Hurts over 51.5 rushing yards. Christian McCaffrey, again, very low. I heard it got moved down to 50.5, but I got it at over 52.5 receiving yards. And then Kirk Cousins over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's had 2 touchdowns or more every road game this year, so look for that streak to continue against San Francisco. I love that, and it's at plus 1048 right now. So it's on my Twitter timeline. You just click the link, and it'll populate them all for you. And let's get a dub.
All right, we'll see you guys. Shay and I will both be on the Barstool Sportsbook Gambling House stream from our Hoboken house for the games. I'm about to walk over there. He's already there. And just thank y'all for supporting Dear Mr. Fantasy every week. I know how much Steven and I both enjoy it. And, thank y'all for joining us. We'll have a new Fantasy Football Factory pod out Tuesday morning. We're going to be getting ready for the playoffs here. We only got 2 weeks left. So good luck to everybody today on Sunday.